enough with small ball money plays. Today, I'm going to continue to teach you guys how to play big and stay effective using money plays with a big boy lineup. Alright, we're talking a traditional power forward or a versatile power forward and a big butt center. So I'll be showing you 3 money plays overall today that is designed to put your big man to work with double on ball screens or on ball screen and off ball screen simultaneously, and also these short corner high screens action. So it's going to be absolutely deadly for your big team. And for your online players, make sure you either use the Nets playbook or pick up a Nets playbook. On my team, make sure you pick it up because we got free money plays and I'm showing all of it to you today right away. And the first play we're starting with is the SamFam Classic, the double dragon, the pick and roll play, fist 91 side. This is a double on ball screen by both bigs, and here you can see me calling with the Hawks. So we got Millsap and Howard setting the double screen. And the key to this is that the big man from the second screen, so the farther screen, is the one that always gonna roll, and the initial big man who sets the screen is always gonna pop. He's gonna stay in the mid-range area or the 3-point area depending on his shooting ability, but if you can get the other guard to run into both screens, you can literally go into the paint and just create a lot of stuff. You can see me here again, shoulder just runs into both screens, easy attack, and you can also always hit the big man from mid-range. You see Brook Lopez doesn't have 3-point range, so he just flows out to the mid-range, so that works out great. But the key to this whole thing is that you're going to make sure the guard isn't cheating the screens. If he does, you can always give it to the first big man and run a katana. For those of you who don't know how to run a katana, watch tutorial number 3 from my all tutorial playlist. But this is the counter. So if they start cheating the screen, if they start going over it, just pass it to the first big man who sets to the screen, katana yourself into the paint, and that's not even fair. And one of the best thing about this play is that it also triggers very quickly. The double screen comes really fast. You can also hit the second big if you want to run a different kind of katana, but I suggest the first big because it's quicker and it's easier to do. And if you want to know who you can X-Pass to, just look at the bottom circle. If you can watch that again, you can see I put the bottom circle on Jefferson, so I run a super far katana, so that also works out great. So you see there's a bottom circle on one of the bigs on Millsap right now. You see the bottom circle? That means if I hold X and pass, it's gonna go to Howard. Sorry, that was Howard. You can also find some open jumpers if you don't cut straight into the paint. And obviously it's not always about the katana, right? If you run the katana and you go over double screens, they're gonna start adjusting. Eventually you'll be able to open up other options. You see here, I see the row, I see the corner, I see the short corner, there's the mid-range of Scola, bang. And one of the most important aspects of this play, make sure when you're starting it, run it here. Do not start it from the circle. You want to do that because you don't want the ball handler's defender to be able to cheat the double screen. Because if you start off too close to the double screen, they're just going to go way over, right? So that will shut it down. So you see the circle, go way away from it, all the way up. Look at me going all the way up. To keep the handler defender honest so he can't cheat the double screen, bring him back. Because if he cheats the double screen from that angle, I get an easy drive to the lane. So that's a very, very smart way of starting the play. So make sure you do that. Alright, second one is going to be a 3-point play and it's called Quick 2 Fists. It is a on-ball screen that goes simultaneously with an off-ball screen. So that's perfect when you're running a 2-big lineup. So you see here, there's the initial wing screen between point guard and power forward. As that triggers, the center and the shooting guard sets a double pick for the shooter you called the play for. So here I'm calling it for Bogdanovic on the Nets, and I'm calling it for Korver on the Hawks. So you can see the initial wing screen between Millsap and Schroeder, which leads to a double off-ball screen between Howard, Bazemore, which frees up Korver. So pick and roll on one side, off-ball screen on the other side, while the middle is open for your point guard to dance. This is a nasty action, and it is very good if you have 2 bigs because it puts both bigs to use simultaneously. Some of the bigger problems with running a 2-big offense is that the other big can't space out, and he shouldn't because he's not a stretch 4. So if he can't space out, you need to put him in action that happens simultaneously on the weak side and the strong side, and Quick 2 Fists is one of the best play for this. Not only do you get a nice and, good looking spaced out wing pick and roll on one side that you can use however you like it. If it amounts to nothing, you can dance around the point guard as the shooter comes off the double pick. That's great stuff. This is a very nasty play that has a lot of deception involved, and eventually if they cheat either side, you either get a drive or you get more shots. If you're gonna knock down shooter like Clay and Korver, that double screen on the weak side is very hard to overcome for user and computer, because as you guys know, computer defense off-ball is really bad. So if you face a user who don't do his own off-ball D, you will get this open shot. However, if he Ds his open shot with off-ball D, he's giving up that pick and roll D on the initial side. So this is quite a stressful experience for a user to deal with. I will be showing online footage of all of these plays after this gameplay. I just want to show you guys like this for now because I can break down the plays easier, but this is very deadly against user because of the simultaneous duo actions, and the user can only defend one. If he defends the other, he gives up the other one. So here we get the easy roll. So make sure you keep that in mind, and always remember, if it leads to nothing, do not panic, because it is possible that they can shut everything down. You go back to the spacing, it's very nice. With two bigs, you're in flow motion, cuts like I taught you yesterday. We go back to that flow motion, gets pick and fade, bang! You can run all of that in 20 seconds. Nasty. And the final money play of the day from the Nets playbook is a pick and roll play called Fist 4 Short. It is simply just a high ball screen with the second big positioned along the baseline around the short corner area. For those of you who follow the NBA, if you watched the San Antonio Spurs and Warriors game as the season opener day, the Spurs ran this to death between Kawhi and Powell and LaMarcus. They would have Powell either set the screen or LaMarcus sitting on the short corner, or LaMarcus set the screen and Powell sitting on the short corner. When you have two bigs, you cannot run a spread 1-4 pick and roll. You just can't. That's not the way it works. But that's why you call this Fist Short 4 play, because it's kind of like a spread pick and roll between two bigs with the other big in the short corner. It's very effective, especially if you look at that initial screen. It's actually not a simple one. He starts on one side and he switches to the other, so it's actually starting with a switch screen with the other big position at a spot where he can be effective. Fist 4 Short is a very effective two big pick and roll. You don't want to run spread pick and roll when you have two bigs, that's just not smart. But if you run Fist 4 Short, you get the similar kind of action but the spacing you need. This initial switch side pick and roll with your power forward, the center moving a lot, is great. And if you catch it up top, you can always just dive into the paint. The other big will always be there to back you up. You can also call a quick pose up, as I taught you yesterday, to trigger your own duck in high-lows. So Fist 4 Short is an absolute money play for two bigs. Millsap, bang! So here you can see all of the plays working in randomness. The clips I showed you earlier, I intend to teach you the plays, obviously. But when you're in a real game situation, especially online, which I'll show all of this maybe later this week, they don't always pan out the exact way you have it designed or the exact way you envision. And there's no problem with that. The key thing about plays this year is that, or many plays at least, 2K actually does a very good job in creating plays that are completely overpowering, and the defense does shut it down if you run it enough, and so will a user who has AI defense, because the AI does adjust this year on its own or with a user. But the thing is, these plays are still gold because it's putting your players in position to succeed, and there's consistency, so you can expect what to come. So if you play smart and you play patient and you understand if the money play don't work, you flow back into your freelance manual action. That's the entire possession right there, right? So you're literally running maybe 4 effective, offensive actions in about 18 seconds. That's all you can really ask for as an offense, because you run 4 actions in a row, you're just trying to find bricks by that point. You're doing it to find bricks. Now, do you know where the bricks are going to come exactly? No, but you can expect certain parts of the play to trigger bricks because certain parts are so powerful. And if they don't, you know what your counters are, so you go to them. Do not play 2K expecting easy score, it just doesn't happen. So there you go. As always, fans are coming by. I will see all of you next time.